Hi everyone, welcome back to The Mystic in the Woods. I'm Kate, and today I'm very excited to be doing an unboxing of the European Goddesses and Spirit Oracle deck. So in full transparency, Joanna sent me a copy of this deck ahead of the Kickstarter campaign so that I could review it for you guys, share it with you, all of that type of thing. So the Kickstarter link, her Instagram, everything like that is going to be below. Now, if you are like me, then you may have been watching the creation of this deck on her Instagram. So I'm really excited about this deck, and I'm really grateful that she sent me a copy of this because I'm just really excited about this deck. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, then you know that the Divine Feminine Oracle by Megan Watterson is one of my favorite Oracle decks. It is just one of my favorite decks, and because of that, I'm very hesitant to actually bring in other goddess type decks like that are like a compilation like this of different goddesses and sacred feminine beings, because the deck needs to offer me something that makes me believe I would actually reach for that instead of my Divine or Feminine Oracle at specific times. So having said that, I do have a couple of other ones, and maybe I'll make like a list about these decks. But anyway, I do have a couple others, but I really use my Divine Feminine Oracle primarily. Now, the reason that I'm so excited about this deck is because it is European goddesses and spirits specifically. And as somebody of European descent, lots of, Germanic, English, Norwegian, these types of locations, I'm always trying to kind of learn more about those pantheons and magic and traditions and all of the things. So I'm actually very unfamiliar with a lot of the goddesses that are in this deck, and I'm very excited to get to know it better, get to know them better. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do an unboxing today. We're going to talk about the deck, the guidebook, and the companion book that you can purchase separately. We're just going to look at them together, and then of course I'll spend some time working with it, and I'll do a full review for you guys about how it reads and how I've been using it and things like that. But let's see, this is a 40 card deck with a 70 plus page guidebook, so the little white book which is in here. So then it also has the companion book, so this says 192 pages that you can get as well. So let's get into it. Okay. So this is the little white book that comes in the box, and we have an introduction, how to work with the cards. You can use this Oracle deck to tap into your intuition, divination. Each goddess in this deck is connected to a particular archetype, which can be linked to her mythology or general nature. So it says the 8 archetypes of this oracle are called the Dark, the Leader, the Lover, the Mother, the Sage, the Untamed, the Virgin, and the Witch. These archetypes are the basis for the personal messages of the goddesses provided in this guidebook. Then it says at the end of each divination text, you will also find questions to further reflect upon in your journal. Okay, so we have a little bit more about the archetype situation, what the archetypes are, so more information about each one. And then in this guidebook, we have about a page and a half for each card with three kind of individual prompts here for journaling or pulling more cards or however you would want to use that. So that's the guidebook. So the companion book is bigger, of course. Let's see, we've got some of the same information, and then we have card spreads, a few different card spreads, and then when we get into the cards themselves, oh, nice. Okay, so we have a full page color reproduction. The themes are right at the top of the page. So we have a whole page on the goddess herself. Then we have a divination / personal message, which I believe is the same one we find in the guidebook. Let me just look really quick. Yes, so then we have the information that's found in the guidebook, which is this message. And then we also have a full page of correspondences so you can connect with her, so devotion and inspiration for ritual. So then we have ways that you can connect with the goddess and her correspondences. Okay, I really like that. So we can get to know not just the sort of meaning of the card, like what her intention was with creating each card, but also get to know each one of these spirits a little bit more, and some really solid ways to connect with them as well. Okay, I like that a lot. So, let's get the cards. I am not gonna try and say these goddess names, most of them, because I will get them wrong. And right off the bat, I will just show you the color variants here, because I believe that they're grouped a little bit based on archetype, like based on the border color, if I'm not mistaken. We've got snow falling off the roof today. Okay. So the cards are in alphabetical order, and you can find them in alphabetical order in the guidebook as well. There's no numbers on the cards, but they are alphabetical in the guidebook. I really like this image. Really like this image. Here's Aphrodite. So some of these, of course, like I've heard of, like I'm familiar with Aphrodite. This is newer for me. Oh, I really like this image of Artemis. I don't know this goddess either. See, I don't know a lot of these. Baba Yaga. Branwen. This is not my first go-to art style-wise, but I do really like it. I mean, I've been following Joanna for a while. Oops. Saradwin. Circe. I like that we have some age representation here, so they're not all in their young maiden stage. Like, of course, like Baba Yaga, we would not expect to be like young and maiden, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm liking the depth. Like, I think that's what I'm getting at here is I'm feeling the depth in each of these images for me. Ire. And even without knowing a lot, I like this next one. I really like this image of Freya. Even without being really familiar, like intimately familiar with a lot of these particular goddesses, I like that I can get a feeling for their energy just looking at the artwork. Like that one too. I really like the darker images in this deck. Oh, I like this next one too. Okay, Hecate. Hell, I really like this image of Hell. Yeah. Hestia. Hulda. I do really like, I really like the darker images. For sure, for sure. See, like, here's one I'm unfamiliar with. Ooh, here's the Morrigan. Yeah, so some of these images I feel neutral about, but then we have an image like this. Like, I really like this personally. Oh, I like this one too. We're gonna look through it and then we'll pull a card together as well. The Norns. Nyx. Persephone. Rhiannon. I'm a horse girl. Scotty. Okay. Ooh, I like this one too. Okay, I'm really excited to work with this deck. So let's just shuffle And let's pull a card for just as a general message for the community. So we'll pull a card, and then we'll look into the guidebook and we'll read the message. Okay. Okay. All right. Circe, I can never quite remember how to pronounce this one. So I'm gonna look into the little white book first. Circe, honesty. Okay. So in the myth of I'm not gonna be able to say all these. Odysseus, Circe turns men into animals to show off their real character. She uses her power to expose things for what they truly are. Most of us get upset when we catch other people lying to us. Nevertheless, a lot of people seem to have no problem lying to themselves day in and day out. Not being honest with oneself comes at the cost of denying one's full potential. Living in a cozy, rose-tinted world may be appealing for a short while, but in the long run, it robs you of any chance to learn and grow. Embodying the archetype of the witch, so Circe is in the archetype of the witch, Circe is not afraid of dealing with ugly truths. She beckons you to evaluate your current situation with brutal honesty. Are you telling yourself the full story? Do you constantly talk about hardships in your life? Don't take any action to change them. As human beings, we rationalize at times, and we can also tend to reassure ourselves with self-talk that is more akin to wishful thinking than the actual truth. Deep inside, we may know what we are being dishonest with ourselves. Deep inside, we may know that we are being dishonest with ourselves, but confronting oneself is hard. Living in transparency with oneself will pay off in the long run. Facing the truth can hurt, and you may have to acknowledge facets of yourself that are not pretty to look at. You may have to own up to your past mistakes and practice to honestly face your emotions. You also may have to confront limiting beliefs you possibly held on to for years. Remember Circe's ability to expose things for what they truly are. You possess the same power. Facing the truth may irritate you in the first place, but eventually it will set you free. And then for journal prompts, we have, how do you feel about admitting when someone is right, even if that means you are wrong? What is your reaction when someone gives you feedback? Do you become defensive? And is that always justified? And do you say one thing, but then do something that's the complete opposite? Okay, so let's look in here as well. So, like I said, this is the companion book that comes with it. The back of this says that this companion book is both a standalone publication as well as an extension to the deck, and it contains carefully researched information about all the goddesses and spirits of the oracle and is filled with ideas and inspirations to connect with them. So let's look for Circe. Is it Circe? Circe? I can never remember how to say her name. I'm gonna have to Google it. Okay, hold on. There we go. So themes include magic, sorcery, herbalism, protection, transformation, manifestation, and seduction. We have the full page on her story, full page on her myth, what we just read in the guidebook, and then we also have the correspondences. So we have herbalism, witchcraft, and wand. So with herbalism, she talks about how Circe is famous for her talents in herbalism. Learning to identify, forage, and work with herbs and their spirits to create your own herbal remedies is not only a useful skill to obtain, but a great way to honor Circe. And a beginner-friendly idea is to brew your own herbal tea with local plants and herbs. And then she talks about witchcraft, so basically the same thing here. I mean, different because it's witchcraft, but like how she is very associated with witchcraft. She's referred to as the first witch. Like any other craft, witchery demands a lot of time and dedication. If you want to dive deeper into witchcraft, you can call upon Circe to aid you in your endeavors and strengthen your connection. And then she also talks about here the symbol of the wand, and that Circe is often portrayed with a wand, which is an important symbol of her magic. To honor her, you can create your own wand and dedicate it to her. You don't need a perfectly crafted tool. In fact, picking up a fallen twig in nature suits Circe and her natural magic even better. Research how to use wands in witchcraft and find a way that works for you. Okay, so I really like that the ways to connect with the goddesses in here are they're tangible. Like, here's different ways you can call on them. Here's things you could do. or learn in their honor. Here are symbols that you can do or think, like they're actual like ways to work with them. And I think that that's really, really cool. So, okay, let's just see. So she is in the witch archetype as well, I believe. Yes. So the witch, power and independence. The witch possesses the knowledge of universal laws of nature and mind. She feels at home in liminal spaces and can guide you through times of transition, change, and hardship. The witch's strength lies in her authenticity, resilience, and confidence. She can assist you in cultivating personal growth and purpose, and in taking a proactive approach in reaching your goals and shaping your life. So for the witch archetype in this deck, which includes Baba Yaga, Circe, Freya, one I cannot pronounce, and Hecate, the keywords would be authenticity, choice, contempt, destruction, industriousness, isolation, manipulation, purpose, resilience, responsibility. So I think that's really cool. I'm really excited to work with this deck. I'm really excited about the journal prompts in here. I think that they seem very solid to me, like journal prompts you could really get a lot out of. They would also probably make really good intentions for shadow work journeys or pulling other tarot cards. I mean, I know like we pulled a card that was really about being honest with ourselves, right? But I think that the journal prompts feel really well crafted to me. Like it feels like a lot of intention went into this deck, a lot of research went into this deck, a lot of time went into this deck. And it does feel like it has something unique to offer. It does not feel like a deck that was just cranked out to capitalize on like sacred feminine spirituality and like getting in touch with the goddess. This does feel like a unique deck that has something different to offer. For me personally, I know, there are so many cool pantheons and traditions and everything from around the world, but I do think that there's something special about connecting in with our ancestry and our lineages, which is not to say that you have to or that has to be what your practice is. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I will say is that as a, white person of European descent trying to find my roots again, we have them. White people of European descent have roots. We have pre-Christian, pre-colonial traditions and goddesses and practices that we can remember and reclaim and work with. And I think that there's something really important about reclaiming those in our own shadow work and decolonial work and all of that type of thing. Again, not to say that you shouldn't be working with spirits from other pantheons. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm really excited about using this deck to plug into that aspect of my own path. So I'm very excited to work with this deck. I'm very excited about the companion guidebook. I'm very excited about the journal prompts. So I will be working with this deck for a few weeks, and then I'll do a full review and let you guys know all the things. All right, I'm really excited, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.